My first boyfriend and I were groomed by a 24-year-old woman when we were 14. I met my first boyfriend at church when we were 13 and fell in love very quickly. John, fake name, and I both had very bad home lives, and we were drawn to each other. My mom had just died by suicide 1 year prior, and my dad, and was mostly absent from my life. Basically, it felt like John was all I had, and I was all he had. Attachment theory is very real. We met Stephanie at our church youth group. She was our group leader's assistant, and she felt more like a best friend than our teacher. Now as an adult, I see that this should have been the first red flag to our parents. Adults and children shouldn't be friends like we were. However, I really needed a friend, so I latched onto her, and John did too. She became close with our families, and eventually they let her start picking John and I up on Sunday evenings to go to youth group, and then she was taking us home from church with her to hang out until youth group. And then we were hanging out during the week at her apartment. John and I had so much fun with Stephanie at the time. We would all drive around late at night and blast the radio. We would go bowling and hang out at the mall together, and she let us eat junk food for dinner. She taught us some sign language, and we signed songs together. I still remember how to do the song Hot and Cold. John and I were very depressed kids, and she brought us some happiness. It got really bad really fast, and I didn't realize at the time. Despite being religious, John and I were having sex, and Stephanie knew we were having sex. She would leave us alone at her apartment to do whatever we wanted. She'd ask us questions about what we did and what we liked. We thought of her as a close friend, so this didn't seem out of the ordinary for us at all. One night, John's mom let him stay the night at Stephanie's place. She gave me the idea to omit that tiny detail from my dad, and ask him if I could stay the night with her too. He said yes. I really don't remember much from that night, because she got us drunk. I was a troublesome kid, so it wasn't my first time drinking, but it was definitely my first time drinking that much. At one point I blacked out. I woke up on the couch the next morning very hungover, and feeling very bad in general. It was Sunday, so we had to get to church. I don't know how no one seemed to suspect anything, because I certainly looked awful. Maybe they did, I don't know. But our parents didn't say anything. John was acting really weird that day, and I remember being scared, wondering why. He wouldn't tell me anything. He didn't show up to youth group that night. I don't remember how long it took him to tell me, but at some point he called me and confessed that he had cheated on me with Stephanie. I was devastated and felt completely betrayed by both of them, but of course now I know that he didn't cheat. He was raped. We quietly broke up and didn't tell anyone anything, and I stopped going to youth group. Stephanie ended up leaving the church altogether several months later, but I don't know exactly why. I can't even express the amount of anger I still have, especially as I've gotten older. As I went through my teens, it never really occurred to me how truly disgusting the whole situation was. But to this day, I resent our parents for letting it happen. They should have known. When I was 24 myself, I really started thinking about all this again. I used to be a dance teacher, and I taught teenagers. It makes me so ducking sick to think about how anyone could do what she did to a kid their age. How could someone do that to a child at all? I just wanted to hug my kids and keep them safe. I have no idea if Stephanie did anything to me that night. I don't know if John would have told me, or if he would have even remembered afterward. But I think about it sometimes. I have no idea where she is today, but she deserves prison. I honestly hope she's ducking dead. I wish we would have told someone back then. I wish I was confident that she never touched another child.